A woman was reading a letter from her mother one morning when all of a sudden she looked up suspiciously at her husband. My mother says that she won't be visiting us this year. She says she doesn't feel welcome. Did you remember to email her asking her to come at her own convenience? The husband looked back at her with a reassuring smile and said, "Yes, dear, of course I did. But I didn't know how to spell the word convenience, so I just swapped it out for risk." This is Catalogued. No matter who you are, student, team member, entrepreneur, or leader, you have a dream and you have hopes that you want to come to pass. First, let me tell you that thing inside you isn't made up, it's not there by accident. And here I've cataloged the tools and principles to help you make it a reality. At the time, there was a king who was instructed by a prophet to strike the ground with some arrows as a prophetic message. The king took the bolts and began to strike the ground. He hit the ground 3 times. As he finished, the prophet was filled with rage. The prophet couldn't believe that the king would only strike the ground 3 times. The king had chosen to follow the commandment given by God to the level that was convenient for him. 1, 2, 3. What he didn't realize was for every strike, the king was prophesying victories for his kingdom. So the king had only prophesied 3 victories when there were 7 to come. Was this poor instruction on the side of the prophet or poor attitude? There are 2 ways that you can hear the word of God in your life. How you process that which you hear from God determines the ways that you will live out his plan. The first way is how the king understood the word of God. You hear the word, you do it, and then you move on to the next thing. The king saw the instruction of God as something to get through and complete. Choosing this view positioned the king to miss what God really wanted to do at that moment. It's your attitude towards instruction that will determine your results. The second way you can hear the word of God is the way the prophet was hoping the king would respond. God gives us direction with a purpose. We're all called to live out the word of God until it finishes the work within us. I never said stop, was the tone the prophet takes with the king. Believe that what God is saying has a job to complete in you. You have a responsibility to stay on the task that God has given you until he tells you what to do next, in his time, not yours. Have you ever felt like God hadn't spoken to you in a while? Maybe you're not seeing success in the things that you're trying to accomplish. Possibly you're facing the same problem again and again. And maybe, just maybe, God is not done with the last thing he told you. We're already trying to move on to the next thing. Perhaps you gave up believing on working on something he told you and desires for you to continue pursuing, while he refines your attitude, outlook, and mindset. Today can be the day that you pick up the arrow and keep striking. What could happen if you went back and started to do the last thing God told you? Maybe you've not heard the first thing, and that's okay too. Start by praying and looking for the next opportunity to be Jesus for someone else. Today can be the day that you keep going. Today, you can lean into the truth that if God is still working, then you have still got work to do. Thanks so much for joining me. I can't wait to connect with you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, rate, all that, and I'll see you next time.